10 seconds. Good morning and welcome to Toronto Police Headquarters. Today, Chief Mark Saunders will be addressing both the public and the media on an ongoing incident that took place yesterday at the Joseph Shepherd building. Chief.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yesterday at approximately 14:57, Ayanal Hassan Ali, 27 years of age, attended the Canadian Armed Forces Recruitment Center located at the main floor of the federal government building, 4900 Yonge Street in Toronto. A uniformed master corporal was posted at a table near the entrance to the access point. At this time, the accused walked past the recruiting center very quickly and walked right past the master corporal. When the master corporal tried to address the accused ignored him, walked into the office, and around the table where the master corporal was seated. The accused began striking him until he fell to the ground. The master corporal managed to get up, at which point he observed the accused had a large knife in his hand. The accused continued to advance to the master corporal and slashed him on the upper right arm. The accused continued into the center area of the recruitment center and attempted to slash another uniformed Canadian Forces member. However, she managed to escape unscathed. As the accused continued onward and further into the recruitment center, military staff managed to corral civilian applicants into a safe location. Military personnel were able to subdue the accused until the police arrived and effected the arrest. As a result of this occurrence, 2 military personnel were transported to the hospital where they received treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. They were later released. While at the scene, the accused stated that Allah told me to do this, Allah told me to come here and kill people. The accused was taken to the hospital because at the time his behavior appeared to be that of non-responsive. Toronto Police Services continue to work with other agencies right now, including the OPP and the RCMP, to establish a full understanding and to gather all evidence necessary to bring this court before the judicial system. To date, there is nothing to indicate that the accused is working with anyone or in concert with any organization at this time. The investigation is still ongoing, and it will take some time to have a complete picture. Right now, the accused is charged with 1 count of attempted murder, 2 counts of assault with a weapon, 1 count of weapons dangerous, and I believe there's another charge as well, and 1 count of aggravated assault. At this time, we're appealing to anyone that was in the area of 4900 Yonge Street, that's Yonge Street just north of Shepherd, at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, that noticed anything that might be connected to this investigation, to contact Detective Dale Defoe at 416-808-3287. Or, if anyone saw Mr. Ali yesterday afternoon, to assist us with the timeline or any information that they may have that can further this investigation. Or if you want, you can call Crime Stoppers at 222-TIPS to remain anonymous. I'll take some questions.
Is this terrorism?
Spelling of his name, please.
First name I have spelling A-Y-A-N-L-E. Middle name H-A-S-S-A-N-A-L-I. 27 years of age.
Is this terrorism related, sir?
We're certainly looking into it. That's why we're working in concert with other agencies to establish exactly what's going on. At this point in time, the criminal charges that we've laid are criminal. We have to look at the national piece, which is Section 83, which looks into the terrorist types of criminal offenses. In order to do that, we have to work with the federal county attorneys, with the federal justices for any of our production orders, any of our search warrants, or any authorizations that we may need. So it's a slow-moving process. It's going to take quite a bit of time. The investigation is incredibly early. There has to be a lot of analysis that has to be done so that we can give a full and proper picture as to what exactly motivated this act.
It is early in the investigation, but is there any sense as to whether or not
You've been radicalized or radicalized here in Toronto?
It's too early to commit to any of that right now, and I'm not going to commit to that.
Is he a Canadian citizen?
Yes, he is a Canadian citizen, and he's been in Toronto since 2011.
And where do you come from?
I was born in Montreal.
Because this took place on a military site, would military police also be involved in the investigation?
Well, we work hand in hand with the military in many aspects, and this is a case where this happened in their environment, so there'd be no doubt that sharing of information would be something that would be definitely utilized.
Are authorities looking into extra security at such establishments or any other additional measures taken in light of the attack?
Well, I won't speak on behalf of the Canadian Forces. They're aware of the situation. We made sure that the right people were notified, and as a police agency, we have exercised our due diligence by making sure that our officers are aware to be more vigilant in certain areas across the city to make sure if they see any suspicious behavior to investigate and to report.
Chief, does he have a prior criminal record?
No. No, there's nothing that indicates any contact with the police.
Chief, with terrorism going on these days, the RCMP has said that they don't have the resources. They're having trouble getting all the officers to work on terrorism. They're looking for more funding. A lot of this terrorism is now moving to frontline police officers to have to deal with. Do any departments get any federal funding to help with that?
Well, federal funding, what we do is we work in partnership with other agencies when it comes to the national security piece. As I stated earlier, the terrorist section of the criminal code are federal offenses, and so it is out of our jurisdiction. We're municipal service, RCMP are the federal counterparts in policing in Canada, and so the funding would go towards the federal entities when it comes to federal types of investigations.
Who's all involved in this,
What
sir?
he's been doing in Toronto the last 5 years, since he came 2011, does he have family, friends here? What has he been doing in those 5 years?
Well, this is it. Right now, this is very early. It's important that we give this investigation the proper time so that we can have that better picture. Which is why I'm trying. I'm very cautiously trying to make sure that I don't overstate what I'm trying to say here. The key message that I want is it's early. We know that there may be people that have a better understanding of what may have motivated this attack. So we're appealing to people that may have any knowledge of this to give us a call, give us a contact, give us that evidence so that we can conduct a thorough investigation. But to start talking about the timelines and what this gentleman has done over the past years, well, we're just getting into that right now.
When
Chief,
you say
who's
he
all
was
involved in this now?
unresponsive, what did you mean, and did his demeanor change while in custody?
Well, it just wasn't responding to any questions. His conscience was breathing, but just unresponsive to any questions that were being asked.
But who's all involved? Is CC's involved, RCMP, or are you just right now just Toronto Police?
No, it is. We're working in conjunction with all our agencies that are involved in national security. So the RCMP, the OPP, CSIS are people that we are in communications with.
So do you have indication that it was specifically armed forces people that were being targeted?
Yeah, shoot.
Well, the motivation based on the actions were people of the Canadian Forces that were in uniform. It is a Canadian Forces recruitment center, so you've got to put those two together and figure out why that gentleman walked into that specific building.
Chief?
One of the issues is a lot of these terrorists, more so overseas than here, they use drugs, they take drugs before they go in to do these attacks. Would there be blood testing on this guy to see if there was any drugs in his system, and maybe that's why he was non-responsive or behaving the way he was?
Well, I'm not going to get into that right now. One of the things that I want to be very, very careful of when it comes to the national security piece, that we don't go through that Islamophobia nonsense. People are the very small numbers, very small minutiae of numbers of people. So I don't want this categorizing of a large group of people. That would be very unfair and very inaccurate.
Chief, I actually have a question about yesterday's police shooting. The mother claims that her son was unarmed, and I guess I just want to know, did this 21-year-old man have a gun?
Okay, I've gone through this, I think, before, and I'll say it again, and I think you would know better the fact that whenever there's an SIU investigation, to ask me a question, knowing that it would be unlawful for me to answer, it's not really fair. And so I can't answer that. It is under the SIU investigate. When they're done with the investigation, they will then put out the details.
But I'm not asking for the moments leading up to when
You're asking
the
about
shots were fired. I
investigation.
think the public has a right to know if this young man was armed.
You're asking about an investigation that the SIU has invoked their mandate, period.
Does the public not have a right to know if this young man was armed? What about police transparency around this? On the operations feed, there was absolutely no mention that shots were fired, a young man was critically injured, or that SIU had invoked their mandate. Does police not have the responsibility to be transparent to the public?
And the police has a very strong responsibility to be transparent, and we are very transparent. And if there are any one-offs, then we look at what the one-offs are, and then we fix them, we remedy them so that those one-offs do not happen.
It seems so that any time police are involved in a shooting, there's just no mention of it. It just goes ignored.
Well, you're being inaccurate, you're very pointed with your questions, because you want specific answers that unfortunately you're not going to get today. To categorize us in that fashion is not accurate.
Do you know if he's traveled at
Someone
all?
else to ask a question?
Do you know if he's traveled at all? What countries he's
No,
traveled?
we're looking at the timelines, which is part of the appeal. We want to know who knew Mr. Ali and where he has been and anything that can assist us to develop the timeline, specifically for the encounters that occurred yesterday, but also prior to that as well.
And what can you tell him about his family? What can you tell him about his family, or whether or not he'd been if he's visiting mosques or anything like that?
That's part of the investigation right now. That I won't be able to
Have you found his place of residence?
I have an understanding we do know where that location is, and we'll be conducting an investigation once we get the proper authorities to do that.
And where was that?
Alone, or was he here?
I'm not sure.
Where was that?
It was west end of the city.
Does he have family in the city?
He has family. I'm not sure exactly where the location.
In the city, though.
I'm not sure.
Was there anything that indicates that he was radicalized in some way?
At this point in time, this is very new, and we're just trying to put all the pieces together on this one so that we can properly report to you what our findings are at the end of the day, to see if there's any type of connection to anything, any organization that can assist. So it's still early, and hopefully once we have those authorities and authorizations to execute the search warrants and things, we'll have better answers.
Because last night you didn't rule out terrorism. Are you ruling it out?
No, I'm still not ruling it out. No.
So why do you think there was terrorism involved? Because he entered Bala? Because of those words? Why do you think?
Yes, because certain comments were made that would fit a profile, but there needs to be more to support. You can't just do it on one statement made. There needs to be more.
And was he screaming it? Can you give us an idea of what was going on?
No, I won't get into the minutiae of it, because I can only tell you what was said.
But when did he make the comments precisely after being subdued by the...
It was at the scene. I can't give you the exact timeline on it, but I can tell you it was while he was at the scene. It was heard by others.
Do you get the sense that he wanted to do death by cop? Was he trying to get himself killed?
Well, I haven't, nothing has told me that yet. The investigation as it unfolds will let us know. 2 more questions.
Did he have a presence on social media?
I don't know.
Did he make the comments in the presence of police officers or only CF members?
I'm not sure who he made it in the presence of, but I know that the comments were made in the presence of several people. Thank you very much for your assistance, and I'm hoping that through this we'll have the opportunity of getting more witnesses to assist us with this investigation. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.